within the green forest or in a battlefield, you might see a shapeshifter of a beautiful woman, or a terrifying old hag, or even a powerful goddess of war. Some may call her the Phantom Queen, others call her the Morrigan. Today we'll be going over the Morrigan's kit and abilities, and my build in this video. But first, I just want to say that I am not the best Morrigan player. I don't claim to be the best Morrigan player. And I just want to help people understand how to play her and what build helps me. I'll provide my build as well as show you guys some other build suggestions. That being said, let's go over her passive. The Morrigan's passive is called Doomslayer. Doomslayer says the third hit of the Morrigan hit chain will explode, dealing damage to all enemies within range, and dooming all enemies hit. Doomed enemies will take additional basic attack damage over time. This radius is 10. Damage is 9% of the target's max HP, and the duration is 3 seconds. Her first ability is called Daily Aspects. So, when active, the Morrigan begins combining the powers of all three of her forms. When active again, they simultaneously damage and stun enemies in front of them. Jungle camps take an extra plus 15% damage. The damage is 80, goes up to 300. Stun duration is 1 second. And cost is 60, goes up to 80. Now let's go over her 2. Her 2 is Dark Omen. The Morrigan launches a wave of dark magic at her enemies that deals damage. Deals bonus damage to minions and applies a Dark Omen to enemy gods for 8 seconds. Gods with an omen will take a bonus damage the next time they are hit by a damaging ability. The eternal damage is 40 and goes up to 160. The minion bonus damage is 40, goes up to 160. God bonus damage is 40 and goes up to 160. The cost is 60 and it goes up to 80. Now let's talk about her 3, Confusion. The Morrigan creates a phantom of herself while becoming stealth and increased her movement speed. The phantom runs into a targeted area, deals no damage, and will die if takes any damage. If the Morrigan attacks or takes damage, she will be revealed and lose her increased movement speed. The duration is 3, goes up to 5 seconds. The movement speed is 30%, and it goes up to 40%. Now let's talk about her ultimate. The Morrigan's ultimate is challenging. The Morrigan selects a god from the current match to become a copy that cleanses herself for all effects. She copies all of the current stats and may use for their abilities of the duration. She retains her own relics and cannot use consumables. The rank of her abilities will transfer to the skills of the god she copies. This ability cooldown will be increased matched the target god's ultimate ability cooldown. You may hover over the target and cancel to pre-select them. so you do not need to use the cursor on activation.
See, you don't even need my help.
This duration is 10 seconds. Now let's go over the build. So in this build of this match, I'll go down and talk about the recipe and other suggestions that helps me playing the Morrigan. So the first one is Bountiful Bayo. It says when you use a non-ultimate ability, its cooldown is reduced by 1 second. This effect may only occur once every 8 seconds. However, you can also get this recipe as well. And this is just a suggestion if you're not going to make it early game, or if you're dying too much and you want some more survivability. So, the Drubble Drumstick, it says, being out of combat for 5 seconds grants you a buff that reduces the damage of the next basic attack or ability from a god by 40%. Now let's go over the starter item that I picked in this match. This is Conduct Gem. Plus 25 magical power, plus 100 mana, plus 10 MP5. Passive, every second you gain a stack of arcane energy, causing your next damaging ability to deal an additional 2 true damage, and removes all stacks. Also deals additional 2 true damage per stack to minions. This effect stacks up to 20 times.
Your left tower is under attack.
Now let's go over the last tier of the starter item. It's called Archmage. Archmage Gem gives you a plus 85 magical power, plus 200 mana, and plus 25 MP5. Passive is every 1 second you gain a stack of demise, causing your next damaging ability that hits an enemy god deals additional 1.5% of your magical power in damage and removes all stacks. This effect stacks up to 20 times.
On my way.
Now let's talk about my 2 Polynomicon. Polynomicon gives you plus 65 magical power, plus 300 mana, plus 8% magical lifesteal. Using an ability gives your next basic attack within the next 8 seconds, plus 75% of your magical power as additional magical damage. This effect can only apply once every 2 seconds. And then, if you know me, I like to go pen third item, so the pen that I chose is Spear of Magus. This gives you plus 75 magical power, plus 8% magical lifesteal, plus 10% magical penetration. Whenever you damage an enemy god with an ability, you mark them to take 5% increased damage to all sources. This effect lasts up to 8 seconds and can only occur once every 15. Now let's talk about her 4th item. The 4th item is Chronos Pendant. Plus 70 magical power, plus 20 MP5, plus 20% magical, plus 20 cooldown reduction. Every 10 seconds the pendant actives, subtracts 1 second from all your abilities currently on cooldown. The internal cooldown will not start until you leave the fountain. Alright, and then the 5th is Spear of Desolation, plus 70 magical power, plus 15 magical penetration, plus 10% cooldown reduction. Passive says, if you receive a kill or assist on an enemy god, all of your non-ultimate cooldowns are reduced by 2 seconds. And your ultimate cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds. Now let's talk about her 6th item with a griff on it. So this 6th item is Rod of Tahuti, but the griff is Calamitous, Rod of Tahuti. This gives you plus 110 magical power, plus 30 MP5, plus 10% magical penetration. The passive says basic attacks and abilities gain 15% additional magical power against targets below 60% health.
Good one. See,
And the griff says successfully hitting an enemy god with an ability calls down a meteor that lands after 1 second, dealing 100 plus 35% of your magical power
see,
damage
need my help.
in a 15 unit radius. This effect can only occur once every 15 seconds.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now let's go for build suggestions.
Yes.
So, my first one is Divine Ruin. Let's say they have a lot of healing, like an Aphrodite or an E-Shell. Or, maybe the Herc is just healing so much. You can go with the Divine Ruin. Divine Ruin gives you a plus 70 magical power, plus 15 magical penetration. The passive says enemies hit with your ability has 40% reduced healing for 5 seconds. Your next successful damaging ability on an enemy triggers a chain lightning, damaging the target and up to 4 nearby enemies for 40 damage, plus 10% of your magical power. This can only occur once every 20 seconds. You can also start with Doom Orb. Doom Orb is a little expensive. It's 2,850, but it's still a great choice. So, Doom Orb gives you plus 90 magical power, plus 25 MP5, plus 10% magical penetration, and plus 6% movement speed. Passive says, killing or assisting an enemy minion provides you with 1 stack, granting 1% movement speed, and 4 magical power per stack. Stacks last up to 15 seconds, and stack up to 5 times. Enemy gods provide 5 stacks.
Sorry.
Now, let's talk about Kaiwan's Coin. Kaiwan's Coin is also a really good item on the Morrigan. Kaiwan's Coin gives you plus 65 magical power, plus 20% magical penetration, plus 7 HP5, and plus 20 MP5. Passive says, on god kill or assist, a coin is flipped. If heads, you gain a stack of 7 HP5. If tails, you gain a stack of 2% movement speed. For each effect can stack up to 4 times. And at 8 stacks, this item evolves. You can also gain 1 gold for every time the coin is flipped. Kaiwan's Coin would be really good on the Morrigan because of the movement speed and the little penetration and power that it gives you. Alright, now if you want some more lifesteal on the Morrigan, you can also go with the Typhon's Fang. Typhon's Fang gives you a plus 65 magical power, plus 200 mana, plus 10% magical lifesteal, and plus 20% magical penetration. Passive is your healing obtained from magical lifesteal is increased by 15%. Your magical power is increased by twice the amount of magical lifesteal you have.
Your right tower is under attack.
Alright, now I'm gonna give you some guys' options for more survivability. If you want to go more as a tanky, kind of like more tanky to the Morrigan. So what I recommend is Ethereal Staff. Ethereal Staff gives you a plus 70 magical power, plus 150 health, plus 20% cooldown reduction. Passive is whenever you damage an enemy god with an ability, you steal 8% maximum mana as well as 6% maximum health from the target. The target stats remain stolen for 45 seconds, and the target affected can have multiple buffs and debuffs at once. This can only occur once every 15 seconds. If you're going against someone physical, or if they're just all physical in the enemy team, you can also go with the breastplate. Or, even better, the breastplate of determination. This gives you a plus 55 physical protection, plus 300 mana, plus 20 MP5, and plus 20% cooldown reduction. The graph says, each time you are hit by an ability, gained a stack of 7 protections that corresponds to the damage type you are hit with, up to max of 4 of each type. Once you reach max stacks of both kinds, gain a burst of 20% movement speed and double your protections gained by the effect for 8 seconds, after which all stacks are removed. Let's say you want something against with a lot of hunters, or someone that has a lot of AA or basic attack. You can probably go with Breastplate of Vigilance. This gives you the same stats as, Breastplate of Determination. But the griff is, when your ultimate ability has finished casting, you provide an aura in a 60 unit range around you, reducing basic attack damage from all enemies by 25% for 5 seconds. This effect may only occur every 45 seconds. And you're probably wondering, well, that's great. What about a magical defense? I would probably recommend Genji's Guard. Genji Guard gives you a plus 100 health, plus 60 magical protections, plus 40 MP5, and plus 10% cooldown reduction. Passive says when you take magical damage from ability, your cooldowns are reduced by 3. This can only occur once every 30 seconds. Alright guys, I'm almost done. We've got one last one. And let's say you're fighting against a group of enemies with a lot of CC or crowd control. So, you could probably get with the Spirit Robe as well. Spirit Robe is great, and you probably see me use this item a lot in my videos. So, Spirit Robe is a plus 35 physical protection, plus 35 magical protection, plus 10% cooldown reduction, and plus 20% crowd control reduction. The passive says you gain additional 15% damage mitigation for 3 seconds whenever you are hit with a hard crowd control effect or root. This can only occur once every 15 seconds. Oh man, that's a lot of reading. So yeah, that's like my recommendation on what to build. Again, I'm not perfect, or I'm not like, oh, build this and you get a guarantee win. If you see that like all over YouTube, but honestly, I think if you understand what each build does and you break it down, I think people might understand why I went for a lot of cooldown. And basically, I want to get her ult up a lot. And I want her abilities to be fast, because especially with her 2 is really strong. Since you get the additional, one, you can shred minions and clear a wave with it. But what I really like about her 2 is that the effect on the gods because you could throw her too and then throw it again with low cooldown and do additional damage.
Okay, on my way. Be
Since,
careful,
you
right.
know, I
Enemy missile
walk with
left.
the Polynomicon with the Morgan, I think it really fits her kit as well. Because you can hit her one, stun the god, use a basic attack. Kind of like what I did to that Hercules. I know it was pretty fast. But, but yeah, it's pretty good on her.
Retreat.
Yes.
So you're probably wondering what skin am I using? The skin's called the Pale Raven. I believe it is a limited skin, so you can't get it anymore. This is like one of my favorite skins
No problem.
ever. I think it looks really good on her. The white with the red, and then the Raven is completely white.
Yes.
It looks amazing on her in my opinion. And how to obtain the skin was back in season 4. You had to play a bunch of ranked games. I know, ranked.
Bend middle lane.
But back in season 4, when you complete up to like 75 ranked games, you get this reward, and you also get the border as well
My way.
that comes with her. So looking back around this match, I could have did something different. I mean, one, I could have got Divine. That's why I was, telling you guys, hey, maybe Divine would be another good option for the Morgan. The reason why I wanted Divine is one, most hunters, they tend to get lifesteal. Also, the Hercules. But I just thought, with my build, it would be better since I have a lot of cooldown and my stuff is up a lot more. I mean, if you can see in the screen, I mean it's 6, so I'm not doing too bad, but I can always improve. Let me talk about you. Let me talk about the Morgan. And the reason why I decided to make this video is because, one, I really like the Morgan. I mean, yet again, I'm not an expert. I got her diamond, and I don't know how many worshippers I have in the current moment, but I really like the Morgan. I think,
Retreat.
she's like a 10 out of 10. Like, there's nothing wrong with her. Yes, she is buggy. But I feel like with the right hands, she can work really well with team fights, and all that. Also, goth mommy, so that gives you extra points as well. This matchup was pretty fun, especially with the Apollo and Nuwa. They kept the team really well and close by, and they kind of coordinate with us. The Kokolin was a little too aggressive at times, which I admit. The Sobek was just doing Sobek, he's just doing his own thing. Also, another thing that I realized in this match is that when I was ulting, because I use a Xbox controller, and yes, I'm on PC, but I still prefer the controller when I play Smite. Probably because I spent almost 10 years playing Smite with the controller, so it doesn't make sense to switch and relearn the keyboard and mouse and all that. And I feel like with the not with the keyboard, with the Xbox controller that I have, I think it just works really well with me. And that being said, I feel like I can do a lot in this game. I would like to teach people, what my knowledge and my wisdom of how to play gods and goddesses, and what I like about them, what I don't like about them. I usually like burst down gods. I do like some AA gods or attack basic attack based gods. And just I also I do have like what 150 God's Diamond, pretty high up there. No, it's 115. I'm sorry, 115 God's Diamond in this game. I have almost all of them diamond. I do like other characters more, but with the Morgan, what I really like about her, and the reason why I really want to make this video, was just, you know, that I feel like she's just really fun. Kind of like Soul. Like, I also like Soul. I also like other goddesses in this game. Also, with the Morgan, I feel like her lore is pretty interesting. Because, if I remembered, she's not just one person, she is three. And I would not remember the names of each one. But I feel like she plays an important role with Celtic goddesses. Also, some people have speculations of how her connection is with Ishtar, which I found that kind of interesting. Also, the Morgan can be portrayed as Morgan Le Fay. They are kind of similar, but they're not the same. It's really it's hard to explain. But what I really like about the Smite Morgan is, one, I think they did a really good job with their design. Some people may say, "Oh yeah, well she's a little chubby and blah blah." Honestly, I don't care. She's not chubby. Also, like, I feel like her design really works well. And there's not a lot of people talking about the Celtic gods and goddesses. And I think that's one reason why I wanted to like focus on her a lot more. Because, everybody knows Norse, or everybody knows the Greeks and all that. I just think it's interesting with, when the Celtics come out, nobody really says much about it. All right. So, I know that was just a little me talking. But yeah. Ooh, man, that was really hard to read all that. But I really wanted to help new players or even veterans about each item, what they do, and how to really play the Morgan. And if you really want, I can make other videos similar to this. This is my first time making a video that is heavily edited. And that's why it took me some time to stop and make another Smite video. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys the victory screen right here. But yeah, also I want to point out that you should always get beads and Aegis. It doesn't matter. I think Blink will work really well. Also with the Morgan, I just want to point out that you can play her in the mid into a jungle. I think jungle would be really good with her because she's kind of like a magical Loki in my eyes. Especially with her confusion with her 3, which is pretty interesting. And yes, there is some gods like Kwang that can also go invisible. But I think with the Morgan, especially with the confusion that she gains that movement speed, makes her really good in jungle. And yes, I didn't show you guys a jungle build or a conquest build. This was just a build for siege. I mean, not siege. Slash. But yeah, I got top kills. Yeah. Also, I wanted to show you guys this part. I've been playing Smite for 10 years, right? And I've never noticed in Slash that there's a huge ass crab just right there. I just thought it was interesting. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.